Meeting order. Everyone, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Minutes of the previous meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additions or corrections? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Bills, with additional bills on the desk. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
motion and a second to approve the bills. Again, any discussion or questions on them?
Again, I got some to approve later.
Okay. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Brown,
Aye.
Fritz,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Lightfoot.
Aye. Motion carries. Financial reports. Candy, anything interesting?
No,
Next, sure.
everything looks good. Everything looks really good.
Okay. Questions on that? Okay, if not, anything motion to approve?
Move to approve the financials. Second.
Okay, motion to second to approve the financials, further discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Treasurer's checks.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion is second to approve the treasurer's checks. Further discussion or question? Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You okay? Anything too fast?
No, it's maybe we should.
Oh, you want a roll call? That's just, they want, fine. That's fine. Roll call, please.
Fritz,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Lightfoot.
Aye. Motion
Thank you.
carries. Agenda, anything to add?
I'd like to add those two things that I passed over earlier, the NDCC, resolutions for 2020, and then the joint board water stewardship award nomination.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, seeing none, I would entertain a motion to approve as amended.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Close same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Sarah, good morning.
Hi, good morning, everybody. As you can see, I brought a few new faces to be with you. Actually, from our office, I brought Cindy, and then see Bill back there. It is 4-H week, so we are pretty excited. We got a lot of fun activities going on. But first of all, I wanted to introduce you to Dina Kemet. She is our Central District Director. She has been on for 4 months now, so just, I'll let her introduce herself and kind of,
Okay, can I take my mask off? Okay. Thanks for letting us have a couple minutes on your agenda. I came today with a message of thank you. As you're aware, in the previous biennium, when NDSU Extension was in a budget crunch, your Association of County Commission kind of agreed to a different base policy that helped us get through that difficult time. So I'd like to meet County Commission and extend a thank you and say, just so that you're aware, that in 2019, you did vote to revert back to our old base policy. The base policy, just so you're clear, is our partnership with our extension agents is we pay 50% of their salary, you pay 50% of their salary. NDSU Extension covers their fringe benefits to the tune of about $22,000. So when you were covering, when we adjusted the base policy, we put everything together and then we split 60-40. We paid 60, you paid 40, you're probably familiar with that. With your staff, I would imagine that you carried an extra $10,000 at least for those 2 years. And so we really appreciate that support, and we're happy now that in 2019 we went back to the 50-50 NDU benefits. So I have copies of those minutes in case any of you are newly elected and weren't part of the group that was here when we made the adjustment. But that's basically my message today. I have business cards. If ever you have questions about anything that's going on at NDSU Extension, I would like you to feel free to contact me. I work out of Bismarck, but I've been here already a couple of different times, so I'd like to get to Ramsey County.
Good.
So thank you.
You?
We also brought with us one of our 4-H ambassadors, Abby Dahl. She is a senior at Devils Lake High School, and being a 4-H ambassador is pretty prestigious. You have to go through a rigorous amount of, and I mean, she is one out of just a handful out of the state, so we are really excited to have Abby. We also have another ambassador, Mara Lang, and we are going to be highlighting them today on our Facebook page, so check that out. But she's going to give you a little, talk a little bit about 4-H and being an ambassador.
I've been in 4-H since I was in 2nd grade, and I am now a senior. The ambassador program, we go around the state helping out with different events like, some do animal events, some do just project events. I recently have helped out with a new 4-H group that has just started with little kids. I helped them with the project. I'll send them out with the parents. But our job really is to just go around the state, help out as much as we can. We are required 5 requirements every year, and I can be an ambassador until I am 21, I believe. So I have quite a few years left. And it is, as Sarah said, it is 4-H week, and thank you for your support.
Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's amazing. She helped us a bunch with Achievement Days this year, and we just really appreciated all the help. And we're excited to utilize her throughout the year. But just a little bit more about 4-H Week. If you haven't already, like our social media, Facebook page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat even. So we're going to be highlighting our ambassadors today, and we're going to be highlighting our leaders throughout the week. We have amazing 4-H leaders. They do this on their own. They are so great. So check all that. Today we're going to have a little contest on Facebook, your favorite 4-H memory. So if you have a 4-H background, let us know your favorite 4-H memory, and we're just going to pick a handful for some prizes. We've got a lot of prizes going on too. We've got trivia, and we're just trying to, do a little bit different. In the past, we probably do some face-to-face things with our kids, but unfortunately that's not happening this year, but we're just trying to do something different just to engage everybody. Listen to the radio. We had some 5th graders do some PSAs. They did a great job learning how to do the communication, use their communication skills. So is there anything else that you wanted to add for each week?
We're just really excited, and we appreciate all the support that you give to 4-H and Extension throughout the year.
Yeah, 4-H is booming. We've got more 4-Hers than ever.
I've accepted 165 on our 4-H online as 4-H leaders and members. So we're going strong in Ramsey County, and a lot of due to the part that you support. So thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
I guess I can't speak for everyone, but to me, talking about funding and everything that 4-H is doing through Extension, I guess, to me, extension's probably a deal at twice the price with all the things that extension does for us. And obviously, I probably utilize extension just as much as anybody since I farm, but, you know, watching all the things going on Facebook page and all the different things going on with 4-H is just a fantastic program. So we appreciate everyone coming in. And Phil, it was really good.
Yep, go ahead.
On the bad side of things, we discussed Lake Region Roundup yesterday, and at this point, I think it's going to be postponed for 2021. We're going to try to do some other little things in each county or something like that, but the actual Lake Region Extension Roundup itself will not happen until January because of the COVID uptake across the country. And we hate to be responsible for spreading more than what we need. Okay? We are not very happy about this, but I think it's probably in our best interest to do that. Unless you got other ideas. Okay, thank you.
If we could make you zoom it out, maybe, huh?
Pardon me?
We could make you zoom it out.
Yeah, everybody is getting zoomed out.
That's right. Very good, very good point. All right, very good, well, it is what it is, you gotta make a decision, so. Okay, very good, thank you everyone for coming in.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for all the hard work.
Yes,
You have great agents, I hope you know that.
we do.
Thank you.
We do.
So, let's see, what time is it? Almost quarter after, so we don't have time until 12:30, 9 o'clock budget hearing, we'll skip down. Kevin, you're on 15 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, well, started.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, the updates on our projects, Ramsey County 9 up there, we did get the spot gravel done. So that's all completed. Truck route, they put some more gravel on that. I think they ordered the base oil material, so it's in the works. It still might need a little bit more smoothing out, I talked to them about that. So I don't know if anybody's been out there looking at it, it's improved since our last meeting.
They closed the pit up? No. Have they closed the pit up?
No,
Road satisfactory? I haven't been out there.
no, it's not done yet.
I drove it the other night, I mean, it was, not horrible, but it wasn't what it was when we had it in good shape.
It's much, much better, but they still don't have the base line incorporated into the new gravel. That's far all they have.
Is that gonna be enough?
I think so.
But
Sure.
the pit's still open.
No, I saw they put the dirt back on the pit, so that's closed up too.
Closed it.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye, if you get a chance, drive it, if there's something you don't like, well, give me a call and they'll help us fix it. Any more questions about that or spot gravel? And we got the guardrail, or the contractor got the guardrail off of, Morris Township Bridge. That looks really nice too. So any questions on our project?
Are they gonna get that truck route done before snow flies?
That's the plan, yeah.
There's a lot of trucks on it right now, I know, so.
Actually, in the next couple of weeks, depending on when that chemical or that product should be. All right, skipping down to all our invoices, we need motions. Calvin got all our chips delivered, and that invoice was $51,768.63. Just like a motion to pay for those chips.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second, to take on for the project. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call please.
Fritz,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Lightfoot.
Aye, motion carries.
And Custom Contract Solutions is the contractor that put up the guardrail on that Morris Township Bridge, and their invoice was the exact same price as their quote, so that's $19,322.24. to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second to pay for the guardrail project. Further discussion, questions? Seeing none, roll call please.
Brown,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye. Motion carries.
And we got our cutting edges from Butler, so they were $12,090.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Further discussion, questions? I was just thinking, I had one question. I passed one of the blades on the way into town. Do they put like some type of protector on there so it doesn't, because it had like a blue cross check thing on it.
Blue.
Yeah, it looked like a plastic thing or something to protect the cutting edge or something.
Oh, the cutting edges we use now are blue, they've got,
Oh,
yeah, they're only like 4 feet long, so they can flip them and rotate them side to side, middle to side.
Oh, really?
So they wear more evenly and it keeps a straighter edge.
I thought it just looked different than the cutting edges we had before, and I was like, oh, what's that one on there? Interesting.
And we started using those last year, they're blue now. And in the winter time, we go back to the normal one.
Okay. Further questions? Roll call please.
Olson,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye. Motion carries.
Husky Energy filled our road tank, or our road oil tank, that's a typo on there, that should be 7,000, that 4 should be a dollar sign, so it should be $7,842.56. That's a lot better.
I thought that's got to be either a really big tank with some really expensive oil. Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the oil. Further discussion. Seeing none, roll call please.
Brett,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye. Motion carries.
And then the last one, we got some motor grader tires recraft, they were $1,000.51 each, we had 4 of them. They've been working out great for us, so we'll try it again this time. For a total of $4,206.08.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second to pay for the recaps. Further discussion, questions? Seeing none, roll call please.
Brown,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Lightfon.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, then, again this year, the DOT is asking for railroad crossing improvements. And a number of our ones that we submitted last year got approved, so I just resubmitted the same 3 for this year. Just more of a heads up than anything, to let you guys know. And there were the 3 sites are the Ramsey Nelson line, just east of Bartlett. The one by Southam, which is that, the line isn't used quite as much there, but it's still kind of a blind spot. And then the one north of the rest area on Township Road.
And those are 90-10 cost shares, right?
So, yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
That'd be nice if they approved it. Need a motion to approve that?
One question on that one itself, and that's really blind spot coming from the north. It's like, what can be done there?
Hopefully they'll decide to put it's blacktop road too, so it's, they're laid route. It should be one that should be easily approved.
You can't already see till you get to the length of the road coming from the north.
Something
It's-
left
it's-
north of that.
And I know the trains don't go very fast there, but wow, it's,
Yeah. And this, we put in for cross arms and flashing lights.
would the railroad do anything on that one themselves?
You mean lately, or?
Would they do something if we talked to them?
Oh, I mean, it might not hurt to put a plug in for it. Now Jim Snyder, the guy that, I submitted these to, he's probably got a little more pull than the railroad. I mean, the railroad is kind of doing what Jim says, put it that way, or Jim suggests. So he would be the one to try and get to, I would say.
I was really, really wrong.
It is.
You're coming from the north, you, like, I don't know, there's the length of the room.
Right, it is
You can
not
see
much.
that, yeah.
Between
Trees
the-
there, and hump there, and
City and the trees,
I don't think there's more than one or two trains a week, is there?
I know that. It's just that one train, you know, I'll email Jim again, tell him that we'd really like to see that done. See what happens.
Is there anything we can do ourselves there? Take some of that hump down or some of the trees down? So we're on private property that holds.
Yeah, the trees are all on private property, so. As far as the blind spots, we couldn't do much about that, they're all off our right of way. The hump, I don't know if the hump is that much of a blind spot or whatever. Is that hump further north?
On the west side of the road, left side of the road, north side of the track.
North side, yeah. Right.
Come from the north. It's, I didn't realize it was that bad. A lot of the other night, I was driving. I was looking around and it's like, you would see a train. You get it. See. They don't go fast, I know that.
You know, I don't know, you can put signs up, but you know,
Maybe we should do that.
there's railroad, there's a round railroad sign and a crossbar, that's all it says.
Well, if we put a sign up that just said bad crossing, would that kind of alarm the railroad a little bit? We think it's that bad a crossing, dangerous crossing, what do you want to put on it? You should look at that, Ken.
Look for change, yeah, I'll think about that. Probably get a hold of Jim and probably do it about as much good as anything. That should have actually been fixed last year, when we submitted it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know it. Like you said, there's how much train traffic it takes one.
Blind spot. I'll think about that.
Okay.
Any more discussion on trains, on railroad improvements? The stream crossing house on 8C between David Lorenz and Steve Swanson, that came back. They recommended another 60-inch charge culvert. The water board hasn't had a chance to act on that yet, it's that new information, but I did order the culvert just to get it coming. It's still gonna take till October 30th to get delivery. So, we might get it in yet this fall, we might not, everything, depending on the weather. They had to make that one a year run. So it's gonna take a while to get it. And that's gonna cost $14,231.74 just for the culvert. Probably should have a motion to go ahead and order that as far as order, but, I mean, I need to get it ordered in order to get it coming sooner.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second, order the culvert, further discussion. Okay, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign.
And I did talk to the water board about it, they're gonna do what they need to do at their next meeting, to take care of the issue, approve it or whatever.
So 8C, that's pavement, correct? We
That is
have to rip over the pavement and everything.
The one that's under there now is all rusted out, so they're, you know, in my mind, I think there's a void under there where the old one is, so it's probably a good thing to do something there.
Okay, what we gonna do?
Want to keep going, or
How long are you gonna take to dial in?
we can skip down to that federal aid, county federal aid program sheet. There really isn't any changes to be made to that until probably next year. I can fill in the estimated cost, that's about the only correction I see there, but our project's pretty much set now. So we just need a motion to go ahead and sign that, and the chairman to sign that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve signing of the federal aid program sheet. No changes. Further discussion?
In 60, that would be the next year.
Or,
60, we have a 2 years until next year.
yeah, the state is setting up meetings, I didn't get that letter, to be honest, but the state is setting up Zoom meetings for the, talk to the commission, right?
Oh, okay. That's what we usually do on the association counties, we're gonna do this. Okay.
This is what we talk about every year when we go to the convention, so that's probably a lot of what the Zoom meeting will be about.
Yeah, no changes. Yeah. Further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
And then on my agenda, but also we have, every year we sign this maintenance certification that we are maintaining our federal aid projects. So we got that in the mail also, we need to get that signed, and the state's attorney, auditor, chairman, and myself need to sign that agreement. And it's something we do every year, so we need a motion to have that signed.
Move in second.
Second.
Motion and a second to sign the certification sheet for maintenance. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we'll come back to the load pass in a little bit. Okay. It's 8:30, so we have our district health conference call. Finalized budget. Guys, you probably come up here, otherwise they're actually able to hear you.
All right, very
Yeah, just
good.
pull
Thank
it
you.
through. Otherwise they're good. No problem.
First order of business is usually called the joint Board of Commissioners order. Let's see who's on the phone.
Can you hear us here?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear Al when he speaks up? We'll let Al speak up here. See if
Can
we
you hear me when I'm talking?
Yeah, yeah, we
Okay,
can hear
very
you.
good. All right. Do we have all three counties in there? Eddie? Anybody from Eddie County?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, all three of us are here.
All right, Benson? Benson County? Okay, how about Pierce?
Yes.
Pierce is there. Well, should we wait a few minutes, see if Benson shows up here?
We'll have to.
Yeah, we'll do it.
No choice.
Benson County's not there yet? Excuse me? Oh, it's a different time zone.
Oh, okay. I can give them a call if you.
County is here.
There's a big, Benson County's here, okay,
All
very good.
right, very good. Okay, now that we have everybody, the first order of business is election of a chairman for the joint board of county commissioners. Anybody want to nominate somebody? Anybody?
Who's doing it now?
Well, this is just a joint, this day only is what this is for. Each joint board meeting has a new chairman.
I'll nominate Adam.
Second that.
Okay, any other nominations? Okay. Nominations cease, you wanna,
Who was the first?
everybody in favor of that?
No, who made the?
Yeah, that made the motion. Okay, is everybody there?
Benson County on board?
Yep, Benson's here.
What's the nomination for?
We have a nomination for myself, Adam Lightbon, to serve as the chair of the meeting. Do we have further nominations, I guess? Okay, I think nominations have ceased. All in favor of Adam Lightbon to serve as the chair, vote by saying aye.
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 Okay, opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries, and I'll serve as chair, I guess. Okay, so, next order of business, I guess, is roll call at county, so we have to go through every individual commissioner, correct? Okay,
That's correct.
Andy, who's got the roll? We have the roll over there, or who's in my packet here?
It should be in the packet, but if it isn't, I have one right here.
Okay. So these are the articles?
Yeah, those should be the people.
Okay, so we'll start with,
Yep.
I'll start with Benson County. Doris Griffin.
Here.
Okay, Mike Steffen.
Here.
Lowell Higginson.
Who's not on?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Those are last year.
Yeah, David Davidson.
Here.
Ron Carlson. Okay, you got one more, correct?
Stable.
Go ahead.
Ron, is it Ron Statham, correct?
I'm here.
He's there. Okay, we had the wrong list, I apologize.
My fault.
Okay, Pierce County, Mike Christensen,
Yes.
Mike Brossart.
Has that changed?
Does that change?
No.
No, just not there. Oh, he's here. Okay, didn't hear you. Apologize. Ashley Berg,
Yes.
Terry Hoffer,
Yes.
Dave Migler.
Yes.
Okay, very good, thank you. Eddie County, Glenda Collier,
Here.
Neil Rude,
Here.
Dave Gertz.
Here.
Okay, very good, thank you. Ramsey County, Adam Lightbon, I am here. Ed Brown,
Here.
Mark Olson,
Here.
Jeff Frith,
Here.
and Lucas Wakefield is absent. He's ill today. Okay. Now that we've done roll call. Okay, back to the original page. Okay, minutes of the 2019 meeting. I believe everyone probably should have a packet with the minutes. What would we like to do with them? Additions, corrections, motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes from Mark Wilson and Ramsey County. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Glenda Collier.
Okay, second from Glenda and Eddie. Do we have any additions or corrections to the minutes? Or discussion?
Benson County, you have Lowell Wilkinson on, and he hasn't been a commissioner here for a couple of years. So it would be Brock Cotton would be in his place.
Okay,
Benson County side.
okay, thank you. We'll make that correction. Okay, further additions or corrections? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of approval of the minutes, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries and the minutes are approved. Thank you. Okay, on to the 2021 budget. And we'll let Al,
Okay,
take over there.
I visited all your counties and addressed a lot of your questions, and we had some changes to the budget itself, some minor changes. It didn't really affect the mill levy, so it is the same as when it was in your hearing. Has anybody got any questions about the budget?
Okay, Ellen, I do. Jerry Humphrey, Perry
Yes.
County.
Yes.
Okay, Ellen, we adjusted the payroll, right, because of the fact that the wages weren't figured right?
Okay, a slight change was there, but what you're talking about, that market study didn't really have an effect on the payroll because it's not coming out of that amount of money is not coming out of the mill levy. So that's why there was very little change there.
So how did that work? I mean, I guess I wasn't at that meeting and I was sorry I couldn't be, but, so if it changed even $20,000, where did that money come from if it doesn't come out of our budget?
Yeah, we changed it. We added, we used carryover money to cover that. That's where that came from. And we discussed that at the board meeting, and that's basically why it was passed. But there were some errors in that document. They were all corrected, and if there's more talk about the market study, that will be done at the board. That doesn't go into effect until January 1st. So basically what we're here to discuss today is just the budget at hand.
I know, but I guess I don't understand, and I guess I don't understand how, if Mike would have pushed that issue about that being out of line, it would have went through.
Well, yes and no. We still have another meeting, and we would have had time to look at that. There were some corrections made to that market study. It didn't really affect our budget. As I said, we used carryover money to take care of that market study. So it didn't have an effect on our 2021 budget. So if there's more discussion on the market study, we will do that at the next board meeting. On October, what, 20, I don't have my calendar in front of me. The last Tuesday in October.
No. Wait.
Okay?
Okay, so then, what you want us to pass this budget that you got now?
That's correct. That's the only thing on the agenda.
Here? So we're gonna change it then if we have to?
No, it's already been changed, all right? The market study,
There's nothing that we can't change it. I mean, afterwards.
the market study will not affect the budget, period. Right, any other questions?
I don't know whether we have a question for, because you sounds like you got your mind made up.
I do the budget, so yes, and I came to all the counties. The budget had some minor changes after visiting with each of your county commissions. Those are on this page, those changes. The market study, what you're worried about, will not change this budget whatsoever. No matter what we do to it on October 28th or 27th, whichever that Tuesday is. So that can come up at our health board meeting. That is not part of this budget, okay? That is not part of this budget.
I don't know.
Now, I don't know what else to tell you. It's not part of the budget. We will go forward, either pass the budget that is in front of you.
I have another question.
Okay.
You know, if we took it out of PASS, if we took that money out of PASS budget or whatever,
Yeah,
normally in a district or county or state or whatever, if you had money left over, that should have affected the mill levies drawn for the following year.
old even budget here. It's the same as last year, the exact same amount, that we asked for last year. And the only reason for that, how we were able to do that, was carryover from previous year. And, that's how we did that.
So in other words, you're saying instead of our mill levy having to go up, we stayed the same because we had that carryover?
That is
Except for
correct.
wages.
That's exactly correct, Terry.
Right.
All right. Anybody else have any questions on the budget?
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for 2021, Wyndham Collier County.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second to approve the budget?
Who made the motion?
Glenda Collier from Eddy County. Okay, do we have a second? Okay, Mike Steffen from Benson County with the second. Further discussion on the motion. Okay, I'll ask one more time, further discussion on the motion, since we're on the phone here. Okay, hearing none, we will go to a roll call vote. I have my roll call in front of me, okay. All right, we'll start again with Benson County. Doris Griffin.
Aye.
Mike Steffen.
Aye.
Ron Statham. Davey Davidson. Ron Carlson. I didn't hear you there, Ron. Yes? Okay, very good, thank you. Pierce County, Mike Christensen.
Yes.
Mike Brossart. Ashley Berg.
Oh.
Terry Hofford. Terry?
Oh.
No, okay, thank you. Dave Migler. Dave?
No.
No, okay, very good, thank you. Eddy County, Glenda Collier.
Yes.
Neil Rude.
Yes.
Dave Gertz.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Ramsey County, Ed Brown.
Yes.
Mark Olson.
Yes.
Jeff Frith.
Yes.
And Adam Lightbon, I'll vote yea as well. Motion carries and passes. The budget is approved. Okay, I guess the only other thing on the agenda then is to adjourn.
Thank you very much.
Do we need a motion to adjourn? I don't know. Okay, I'll just say we're adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay. Okay, we got enough time, we'll jump back into the county highway department. Load pass?
Road pass, okay, they have a few questions about, permits that they allow. Frost permits is first on the list. There's two different types. This one will allow 1 more ton per axle up to 105.5. Act on these, or decide on these each as they go, or? I guess this one, I would suggest that we don't approve these types of projects. Later on down the line, there's the winter time permit that allows 10% over, which we've done in the past, so.
When is the frost permit used then? In certain time frames or?
Yep, it's at, same time frame as the other one, which is between December 1st and March 7th.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So instead of being 1 ton over, then we're just saying 10% over.
Right.
So basically 1 ton over on an axle would be 1, 2, 3. So that's like, it'd be over 10% then. You know,
Yeah.
okay. So where would we be limiting it more than? And then the state does a 10% on the harvest, correct? So we'd be matching the state instead. And the frost permit would be something different than the state's doing, so it'd be kind of confusing to people then, back and forth.
Right.
What did get my mind wrapped around it.
How do we tell load pass then if we're not involved in that first one?
But they just put it on there, I mean, they don't allow
Yeah, they just don't put it on the app thing or whatever.
their sign-up sheet or their registration permit sheets.
Okay, should we go one by one, or should we approve it as a whole here, I guess? Let's go one by one. Is anybody interested in putting frost permit, using the frost permit? Okay. On the harvest permit.
Harvest permits are allowed 10% over the legal limit when harvesting to the first point of storage, which, I think, I'm not sure if it's in that, that's or not, but I've never seen any tickets to that effect. And if we do decide to do that, I guess I don't see any problem with that either. I think we've allowed it in the past, but never actual motion or whatever. The fees, we need to establish the fees if we want to allow that.
What's the state charge for it?
$50.
$50. Makes sense to match the state, or?
Yep.
Sounds good.
We've had that in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, I think all we've ever done is we've just approved allowing the state permits, we just haven't charged locally. Now we're just gonna be saying it's an extra $50 to go on the county system basis.
Right. So we'll get some revenue on it.
Which is, okay,
The wintertime permit is the one that we have allowed in the past through a motion, allows 10% legal limits between December 1st and March 7th, and that's a $50 fee per 30 days. So that's a little different there, but, and I think the reason for that 30-day thing is, people don't call for the whole 6 months or 4 months, whatever that time period is, 5 months. So, they do it for a 30-day fee period.
So it's $50 every 30 days?
Yeah.
In the past, we've done, the states just did $50 for the year, right? I mean, for the winter, I mean?
Yeah, 50 per winter, yeah. With those December 1st to March 7th dates. That's the way the state does it. With those dates.
If we go along with this, do we have to go along with their fee schedule?
No, we can set our own
We can set our own fee schedule.
So we could do, thinking out loud here, we could do just $50 for the whole
Season.
thing.
I like a seasonal pass just because it's simple, you go and you buy it once, even if we do decide to make it a little more expensive even, it makes more sense just to do it once and you're done for the season.
Stay the same as what we've been.
Right, that's all, and in the past, it was just a one-time fee also.
Okay, so we'll do $50 one time for harvest and $50 one time for winter.
Yep.
Okay, sounds really good.
And the last one is the annual overwood permit, which makes sense to me too. It's anything 8 foot 6 inches over that grade for the whole year, it's $150. Anything over 12 feet would be another permit, of course. And that one makes perfect sense to me too.
Anything over 12, they just want to make sure that you know what's happening so you can clear it and make sure you don't have a problem in other words.
Right, a lot of times the state will require a pilot car or something like
Yeah.
that. So it's a little different situation.
Okay. Okay, any questions, discussion on that? Let's stay the things, I guess.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Yeah, so we have a motion to approve allowing harvest permits at 10% over for $50. Wintertime permits at 10% over for $50 one-time fee for that time period, and then the annual overwood permit of $150. So let's make sure we got everything squared away there. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. All right, carries, very good. When do these take effect? Pretty much immediately, we're gonna,
First of January.
first of January is when we're gonna go on those passes.
Yeah, they'll start issuing all of our permits.
Okay. I had the question the other day from somebody, since we made, and I'd have to go back and look, but we made the motion to allow the 10% overs. Did that count for harvest permits as well, or just winter permits?
That was just what,
It was just winters,
the
okay.
motion we made.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't go back and dig because I didn't see it all that busy, but, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay.
We've never ticketed anybody or anything for the harvest permits, but we never actually had a motion or anything. If that makes sense.
Okay, I can give him an answer then. I like the answer, but I give him the answer. Okay, anything else, Kevin?
Yeah, just a heads up, the Rapid City Convention has been canceled this year. And then one other thing, I've been nominated, affirmed to the National Transportation Policy Steering Committee. I think Nate will need the recommendation or the nomination, but just so you're aware that I am on that National Transportation Committee now. Well, most of our meetings are online. I think there's one meeting a year that's travel. That's it.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good job, well done.
Congratulations.
That's all I have.
Kevin, do we need anything, motions made for bale removal or mowing ditches, or
We did the mowing ditches,
did the mowing ditches previously?
but we did not do the bales. So it's up to you guys.
Is that something that we wanna take up, that bales are removed from road ditches or road right of ways by a certain period of time?
I think the state is
Is it November 1st?
November 1st or 7th. Yeah, the first week of November.
Is that something we wanna take on as a, put a notice in the paper, or is that something that's just
I think
assumed?
I think it's kind of assumed because it's usually not a problem. If the guy went to the hassle of making the hay, they're usually out there making sure it gets in.
Exactly.
No fun digging them out of the snow.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you'll get the stray one occasionally that somebody missed it. Most
In
of
the
the time
past,
you
we
take
used
care
to
of
do that, but we quit about 3-4 years ago, just because of the expense of putting it in the paper, right?
There's been a lot of progress I've seen made the last few weeks now too, since, or at least the last week, now soybeans are starting to slow down a little on the bill. Things are getting more.
We'll keep our expenses down.
Okay, very good.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay. What do we got here? 5 minutes. No. Let's go down to new business, since we only have 5 minutes until we have to do the final budget hearing. North Dakota State Fair delegate appointment. Anybody interested in going to the meeting? Jeff was our appointee last year.
And I can't remember if it was weather or illness or why I didn't go last year,
When is the meeting again?
but 19th of November. And I'd be willing to do it again.
Sounds like you're gonna volunteer. Anybody wanna make that motion
I'll make that motion.
again? Okay, we're gonna appoint Jeff to be the state fair delegate. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to appoint Commissioner President of the state fair delegate from Ramsey County. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Jeff, for taking that. Okay, raffle permits.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion second to approve the raffle permits. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Appraisal values on the sheet in front of you. So we have to set the appraisal values and then the hearing date of next meeting at 5:45 PM.
Motion to approve.
Statement. We have a motion and a second to approve the appraised values as presented, as well as set a hearing for 10/20 to 20 at 5:45 PM. Further discussion on the motion.
Property that is listed with no value on it, that will be taken care of.
The only thing I was wondering was, you know, we had that, the one that was the one where we tore the house down, and we've kind of slowly been inching the number down to try to get somebody to be interested in it. Is that something we want to keep at 10,000, or do we want to try to entice somebody to buy it, or do we think 10,000 is a good price? I don't think 10,000 for a lot of towns is a bad price. I just remember we talked about that. That's all they did was.
What do we need to do to lower the value?
Besides, you want to lower the value, I mean, we can make it $1 technically if we wanted to, but we've always been of the opinion, I thought we wanted to get some of the value on the house we tore down back out, but it's been sitting there for how many years now? So obviously $10,000 probably isn't doing it. Maybe we have to do a better job of, you know, maybe we need to advertise it or something. Say, hey, here's a lot. I don't know, I just figured.
I make a motion to cut it in half. If you're gonna buy a lot, everybody seems to be buying in the roundhouse edition and all the new additions. This is gonna be a hard sell in the middle of the city.
Okay. Who made the motion originally to approve the values? You did, didn't you? Would you like to make that part of your original?
Yes.
Okay. Who seconded it? Jeff, would that be okay with you to second it at that level? Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve values, and also with the change of that 10 and 1 down to 5. Try to look at it. Okay. Further discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries and the values have been set. Okay, very good. And it appears as though it's 9 o'clock, so we'll roll back up to final budget hearing. Okay, we got that over here. Back to our Okay. So, where we're at now in terms of the final budget, we did the preliminary approvals. Our total budget is 10.867, $494,090. Of that, local tax revenue is $5,795,434, which equates to 90.81 mils from the county level, which currently stands at an increase of total dollars at $239,331, which is a 3.81% increase, while actually being a slight decrease in mills because of the valuation increase in the mill. At our last hearing, in the prelim hearing, we discussed taking some of those CARES Act dollars that the Sheriff's Department had, or we received for payroll for the Sheriff's Department, and maybe offsetting some of that 239 to try to, you know, equal out and try to give a little bit of a property tax break. Any thoughts? We had some time to think about it since the last meeting on what level we would like to keep or how we would like to proceed, or does anybody, I guess, from the public have a comment that is here about the budget? Or is there anybody from the general public? I remember at the previous hearing, we said, I believe Carrie said that we had some money coming back in a grant. So that was like 40,000. You said we had some money that we over budgeted simply because we didn't know where the health insurance was going to come in. What did that help you with?
Like, $14,500.
Okay, so that's 54,000 then. Everybody else's budget was in pretty good shape. I guess just, and we had what, we figured 375,000 probably, give or take, was gonna be the CARES Act dollars. We had 267 at this point, plus 2 more months.
I haven't gotten an update if any more money has been approved to pay those next 2 months.
But I think that was the intent, we just haven't seen it, we haven't seen it.
I haven't seen an email.
But that was the intent of the, whoever's chairing, I think it's the emergency commission, or whatever that oversees that.
Are we gonna need money for those, that cyber project for the sheriff's department?
Law enforcement's moving forward with it, I know that.
I know, yeah.
Are we gonna do a similar cost share type structure that we've done on the other projects in the past there, or how are we gonna?
It would be good if we could use a little bit of this money for
Something like that.
for something like that, and, because that's gonna be, one of those unfunded mandates from the
Yeah,
state.
360, I think is the figure.
So any idea what we're gonna be on the hook for on that?
Probably 100.
Let's say, try a little more than that.
It wouldn't hurt to haul to put 100 of this money we got from CARES to that project. I think if that was all right with the commission, I'd strongly encourage that much in here. We're, you know, the reality that law enforcement centers had behind everybody else in the state on this cyber. So we drug our feet in banging up for a couple of years. Things are looking a lot better out there right now. So.
Well, assuming that the cyber project will cost us, say, what, 200,000 might be a number to throw out there, just a round number. If we get the cyber, or the CARES Act dollars back on top of what we've received already, that'll be at about $370,000 total then. You take the 239 minus the 54, that puts us at about 180,000. So 180 minus 370 minus 180 is about 190,000. So that covers pretty close to what the Siren Act dollars would be. So I guess, and this is just my thought process. It's kind of in my head anyway. Is we take $180,000, we reduce our budget by that 180, and then, or we reduce our budget by the 239, excuse me. So we're zeroed out, and then at that point, that would be taking the money out from the 40,000 to 14,000, and it would still leave us about $190,000, $200,000 left over from the CARES Act that would be sitting there that we can use for the siren project. That way, everybody gets a little bit of a tax break, we stay even, stay steady, and we have some money left over. Or if the sheriff's department has something, particular maybe that needs to be done, we'll still have money sitting there for it.
I would agree with that. Need that as a motion?
I guess, yeah. We have to have a motion to approve the final budget, so at whatever level we're gonna approve it at. So I guess the motion would be to approve the budget as presented minus the 239,331, and then we can do the other stuff. That's all machinations in the office, making sure things go where they're supposed to go.
I'll just take those dollars out of the general fund since that's where a majority of the funding would come from anyway. So then I don't have to.
And our projected general fund is looking fine. So there's really no reason that we have to try to build the general, and we can just set that money aside and use it for what we're going to be intended to use it for.
Then that way I'm just dealing with one account instead of a little bit here, a little bit there. Yeah.
Kevin, anything you should cover over there?
Not for 21, 22 is gonna be. No, not this. Not for 21. 2021.
You're all right.
We can do the work with that for the April project.
22 is a whole other story.
You want to deal with 22 when it gets here then, or what? I don't know if Karen's money's gonna be around, but.
It's a good question, because we don't know where prairie dog, we don't know stimulus money, I mean,
Legislative session, coming in January, we don't know that, but, hopefully they can sort things out there and come up with some of these. That's my hope.
I think we could deal with it in 22, or this time next year, yeah. Okay.
Then we start receiving money again from federal aid projects in 22, correct?
Yeah.
Because we used the $21, we pulled them back to this year. 2022, we'll get our allotment again.
Well, we can start borrowing ahead of that, we actually won't get any money we did borrow.
It would surprise me that it was, unless that just doesn't know yet.
Yeah, I was kind of confused
We
by that.
borrowed 3 years ahead or something, didn't we?
I thought we only borrowed a year ahead.
That was for the bridge project, though, that's a whole other pot of money, so.
Right, but the rate of that at the top of there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that, yeah, you're right.
What's that say then?
Oh, yeah, well, you're right, we're still behind. Or, we borrowed ahead of 28,000. After 2021, we're still negative.
So that's a projection after 2021?
Yeah, 2021 is estimated allotment was 228,916. The estimated total after that is negative 200,916.
So 2022's allotment is going to go back to pay that too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll still be, 28,000, up 22 money in 22.
You understand?
So that would be it, yeah. So you have to, yeah, right, you'd be able to borrow that, yeah.
But we'll be able to borrow it again.
Yeah, and we're talking,
That's for the paving job.
yeah, then we're talking when we can build. We talked about the possibility of pushing the paving job to 23. So then, because the road's in pretty good shape, then we have 2 years to build up the funding. So we could take that, whatever it's gonna cost, $1 million or whatever, we can build 500 this year, then into the budget in 22 and 23, and then we'll have enough to pay for the paving project.
Plus the gopher, or the prairie dog money and
Plus, if
stimulus
there's
money.
some stimulus money on there, so, okay. But, I mean, we still have to come with the premise that we're gonna have to pay for it locally. I mean, because that's, we always have to start from, it's
Sort
either
of
half.
half, a little less than half. But,
Yeah, you never know where the dollars are gonna come from.
to run it through the federal aid program, if you would have had it at over half federal aid, so that the state makes the payments on the contractor.
So then, to do that, you'd almost have to borrow ahead then, just to keep the federal aid dollars there then.
Right, and the state didn't use, or the counties didn't use all the federal aid dollars last year,
I saw that in the note.
so it'd be a good idea to continue to borrow ahead, because you're not, construction not getting any cheaper. We want to keep those dollars for okay.
I found it interesting that there's money left on the table. We never have a lack of projects, we're always thinking 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead. Yeah, found it interesting.
Yeah, there's like that every time. Halfway.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, if we want to stay where we're at on budget and keep those extra dollars and set up for a road project too, I mean, that's fine too. I mean, it's not like we're increasing the budget drastically. It's just, I was thinking, if we could find a way to zero it out, that would be nice too, but I mean, I'm not opposed either way. I don't think the citizens are gonna be angry with a pretty reasonable, increase. I mean, it's 3% or 3.8% over year on operating really isn't that, out of line.
Since the social service funding got taken over by the state, budgeting for the county has gotten considerably easier. When you're sitting on this side of the table, I know that.
We used to be at about 130 plus mils probably, and now we're at 90, and it seems like that's kind of our new norm. We kind of hang in that area, which is nice.
I guess maybe I could mention this, in 2025, I don't know how many of us are gonna be here then, but we can only have, there's legislation out there that will only allow us to have 10 mills for road projects without going to a vote of the public. that's gonna be statewide, so. And I know I heard that there's also some legislation out there trying to get that changed, because it's not gonna be enough money, unless there's, you know, other monies coming in somewhere that we're not aware of, that we don't even know about yet. So just a heads up there, in 2025, we can only have 10 mills for legal legislation.
And what do we have now, 20, correct?
Pretty close.
This is coming down, gonna be a vote of the people? No.
And if we want to go,
Legislators,
if the legislators already set that policy,
they said it.
yep, like a couple of years ago. So if we want to go above 10, then we have to go to a vote of the people.
They're basically telling us keep our infrastructure in good shape and here's half the money.
Right. And that's a few years out, but keep it in the back of your mind.
Every company's great about that, and they have for the auditors, trying to get the little third test or what you want to do there.
I know it's something they've talked about in the past multiple times that they're concerned about.
This is their paper, so.
So the way the legislation is written, if people are trying to go to a vote to get their mills increased this year, in 2025, that all goes away. It doesn't matter if you set it up for 10 years, 20 years on your vote this year, it still goes away. So they're predicting that at the election time of 2024, there's going to be a mass push for everybody to get these mills voted on. So that's another issue that's going to be, to keep in the back of your mind, that if we want to increase our mills past 10, we should be doing it in the election of 2024.
That or we should talk to our legislators now and get them to change
Correct.
that bill.
That's what it should really go down.
Good. I would guess they're seeing a roadblock in trying to do that with smaller counties, less population, but there's a lot of votes push that through the legislature session. That would be my guess.
Yeah, we're to talk to our legislators about it, just get here and then tell them, you know, obviously, we're trying our best to, you know, to keep our infrastructure as good as we can, and we've relied a lot on state dollars, so without having those local dollars and if the state dollars dry up, how are we gonna keep our road system in decent shape? I mean, it's gonna be drastically more difficult than it is now. And we're progressive here in this county, we try, you know, we don't drag our feet, we make sure things get taken care of, but I think we have pretty good road system. We need dollars to do it. There's just no other way around it. And that's usually one thing people don't have a problem with. You can say, hey, we're gonna get better roads with this money. People don't, I've never heard anyone complain that we're spending too much money on roads.
They're receptive to that.
Yeah. Most people I talk to think we should spend more money on roads. Anyway, back to the numbers at hand here, I guess. What are the wishes of the commission as a whole, I guess?
As a safety net, I just like to see it stay the same.
Would you say, Patty?
As a safety net, because you don't know what you're gonna get in for taxes
Correct.
next year. I mean,
And another safety net is, do we know how much CARES money is gonna come again, whether any comes at all?
yeah,
You know, to cover some of this cost of,
I mean, every email, every opportunity, I mean, we're spot on to submit what's needed to get money, so.
oh, go back to drawing boards, redo it, or what?
No, I'm fine, we could simply just
We're all
say,
right?
yeah, we could simply just stay on what the proposed budget is. I mean, like I said, I don't think an unreasonable increase of 3.8 is bad. I was just hoping we could maybe pass some of it back, but I mean, if it's something where we think it's beneficial for us to keep some of those dollars back, so we can do stuff like siren and maybe sit on it just in case we wanna do some road work or something like that, I personally, I have no problem with that. I don't think we have any problem justifying what our budget, what kind of shape the budget is right now, compared to the fact that we, like you said, years ago, we used to be 30% higher locally. I mean, it's not a bad budget, I mean, it's in pretty good shape. On top of the fact, I think people have to have a recognition of the fact that on a $10.8 million budget, only 5.7 of that is coming locally. So that means, you know, about 50% of our budget comes from outside places, federal dollars, state dollars. So people need to recognize that too, that a lot of that is, you know, it's outside money. Okay,
Leave it the way it is.
thoughts?
The way it is.
Okay.
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second then to approve the budget as presented, staying with the preliminary budget with no changes. Okay, further discussion on that motion?
That's all right, Candy?
Okay. Further discussion on the motion, questions, comments? Okay, hearing none. Roll call please on the budget.
Brett,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Lightfoot.
Aye, motion carries. The budget is approved for 2021. And as always, thank you to all the department heads and everything that's gone into all the time and putting the budget together, because it's always a lot of work, so it's a big thank you from that perspective. Okay, let's see what we're at.
So we can assume that the raises, when we do our evaluations on our workers now, we can assume the raises.
Yep,
Perfect.
it's in the budget with the step changes and the.
To add to that, I did some work on applying for a grant for election for this year to get some money back. It took, 20 minutes at the most to submit all the information. And I got an award letter today of $6,212.50.
Thank you for your hard work. Thank you.
So,
Good job.
Good deal. Pay for some people. Pay for the poll
yeah,
workers.
pay for all my stuff I bought. Yeah,
Hey, we'll take it. Grant money is a good one.
yeah. I just have to do the follow-up signing of the papers and submit it and.
Good deal. Okay. Guess we're back up to, down to, excuse me, unfinished business. COVID-19 discussion. I guess I'll start and state where we're at here. In talking with department heads, not every department head, but quite a few of them over the last week or so now, probably. The recommendation was at least of what I heard from pretty much most of the department heads, was that we should go back to by appointment only. Still remain regular courthouse functions, but try to limit traffic in the building. We've had positive cases in the building, we've had some staff quarantining, we've had a lot of different things going on. We've also know that with the fall season, we tend to have an uptick of people coming in and out of the building. In an attempt to try to keep staff as healthy as possible, as well as the general public that has to come into the building. The thought was, and the recommendation was made to me in talking with multiple department heads, that we should go back to by appointment only. And then, but continue to, function as we're doing. People can still work out of the building. We can still obviously say if people have to go into quarantine, we'll have the telework options that we have currently, and nothing will change that way. We've already done by appointment only in the past, so it's not really anything that's going to be a huge change. In visiting with Candy about it, election-wise, it really won't make any difference, because if people want to vote, they can talk to the auditor, come in and vote. The drop box will just move from inside the entryway to just the breezeway where we have the phone in the past. People can drop their ballots off just as normally.
Extended hours.
Extended hours will stay the same, where the auditor office will still allow for an early vote. It'll just be a little bit more making sure that we're limiting intake of people, so it's not just people wandering the building basically. Try to keep everybody someplace. That was the recommendation, doesn't mean we have to take it, but that would be my inkling, my confidence, that's what we should do. Multiple counties in the past month have gotten back that way with the uptick in numbers in their regions. I know Emmons County, I believe, has Logan, I think, if I remember correctly, Pembina, Benson County, Nelson County now have gone to by appointment only or allowed with the courthouse on. So we would be in kind of a similar situation and circumstance. Every other policy that we've set up to this point would remain the same. Oh, Al's got a...
Yeah, you know, I see other counties doing that, and it works. There would be one problem for public health in that it's flu shot season.
Yes.
Okay, so we would need like the armory or something, because people come for flu shot. I mean, by appointment, we can handle that, right, and have them come up and down by appointment. But the days, especially when school's not on, we get all those people coming at once. They don't need appointments, and it is already on the schedule.
Yep.
Is why I'm bringing it up. If we could possibly move it to the armory and leave that open so they can come at any time, that we would get that advertising out. That would get us maybe around that a little bit. I don't know. That's the only concern we have. Of course, we're.
And I apologize, I was kind of getting to that too. With the thought process too was we would leave the memorial building as is, simply because there are events scheduled. We're still following that Smart Restart guideline where it's a reduced number of individuals allowed in the building for any kind of activity. Plus, we could do shots, things like that. You could utilize the armory, things like that. That way we would have the facility still open. But then, you know, because pretty much everybody that's a county employee works inside the actual courthouse structure and not the armory portion. Right. So we could leave that open so we can still have public access to do flu shots and things of that nature. And anything else that, you know, if we needed to do, we could still utilize that facility.
That sounds good. We did, just for your information, Levers gave us access to Levers South.
I saw that.
For doing COVID testing and possibly COVID vaccination whenever that comes. We'll see, that's kind of down the road a ways yet, but they're forcing us into making these plans and having these areas set aside so that we can do it. Maybe at that point, once we find out approximate date, we would love to visit with the county commission again on the memorial building. It is in all of our emergency plans, and it works quite well for vaccination. So just a heads up there.
Crystal, anything to add? I know we've talked in the past about, you know, it's kind of a recommendation you've been hearing from the different department heads as well.
It is, yeah. And just some concerns that I've had when I reach out to the commissioner to look over their portfolio, just to understand that we as an employer have an obligation to our employees to make sure that we're providing a safe workspace. And if we are found negligent in that, we could fall into a lot of issues with that. There's a lot of different employment lawsuits out there right now currently. If employees come into work sick, the employer knowing of it, not isolating the sick employee, letting them come into the workplace. So there's just different areas like that that we have to be really careful with, and to make sure that once we're notified of it, that we're taking care of them. So I know it's not fun, but it's something we'll do right now.
Yeah. And I guess I'm of the thought that anything we can do to decrease contact points at this point when we have an uptick is a positive, because anything we can do to make sure we slow down the spread, we stop the overrun of the hospital system, we allow businesses to continue to operate, which is a good thing. and we allow our kids to continue to go to school, which is a great thing. So anything we can do to try to just slow the thing down is, you know, just to make sure we can kind of continue to live life in a halfway decent manner. And to me, that means keeping our employees safe and decreasing contact points is a good thing, at least in my mind. Everybody as a commission as a whole has the, thinks differently, and that's good. But thoughts, comments, opinions on going back to buy appointment only, I guess.
Third floor, where are they at?
I talked with Judge Foudy. He said that they would have absolutely no problem going back to by appointment only. They have a jury trial scheduled for the 22nd of October, I believe, so he said that will give them some time to figure out how to handle a by appointment situation, but he said basically what they would do is they would probably just have to have a few more bailiffs to get people from the doors up to or to the jury room, whatever they're doing. I think they're using the armory, if I'm correct. But he said for them, functionally, it would work just fine. They're already dealing with it in Pembina County, Rowlett County, multiple counties, so he said it's just something that they would work with, so it would be a big deal for them.
So just so I'm clear, that means we lock the doors again?
Yes. It would be doors locked, same thing, we'd have a phone call in, and by appointment only, we still have the drop boxes, obviously, for all the social services paperwork, and this is the season where they're going through LIHEAP stuff, so eating assistance program, which generally brings a lot of people into the building, so that would decrease contacts, which would be a good thing. They could still do all of their work over the phone, we would do everything electronically as we could do. Just trying to keep everybody as healthy as we can. I foresee one of the problems, at least in my mind, in visiting with people, is the discernment of, we're into it now, flu season. So knowing the difference between a sore throat from the flu or from just regular nasal drainage from COVID is going to be impossible. So, you know, just continuing to tell our employees, hey, if you don't feel well, stay home. It's okay. We got your back. You know, let's try to keep everybody as healthy as we can, because the worst thing that we can have is somebody come into the building not feeling well and then spreading it. You know, and regardless if it's the flu or anything else, nobody wants to be sick. So everybody just needs to take care of one another, and I think we'll get through it okay. It's just a matter of let's try to keep everybody as healthy as we can, as safe as we can.
Where did you say the absentee ballot drop box is at?
It's right outside our office door right now.
Currently it is. Yep. It would just go to the
It would
middle
just go to the
breezeway,
breezeway.
where we have the,
So you can get to it, also,
exactly.
Perfect.
Yep. And that's, we had talked about making the call on this last week, but we figured by the time we got everything kind of figured out, it was best to talk about it at a commission meeting instead. And it gave time for Candy and everybody else to kind of think about how it would change their functionality. It gave me time to talk with Judge Foudy and everybody else that would be affected, I guess, other than I didn't talk to Al, I guess, so I apologize for that. But I did think that, you know, obviously flu vaccines are happening, so how could we functionally make that work? Thoughts from the commission, I guess.
The election, you'll be all right.
We'll just go back to how it was for the June election.
Yeah, that was my first concern as well. Yeah. Is how is this going to affect the election?
Memorial Road, we just open as usual and for that day.
Yep.
I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of questions.
Yep.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, any other comments, questions?
And too, like we kind of talked about with the extended hours, like for Roger to leave that handicap door open in the breezeway for those hours for people to drop their ballots off.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll just lock them and leave.
You're gonna put something on the radio and make it so you know how we're doing it.
Yep.
Or will it be open to usual?
Yep.
I'll make sure if we do make this decision, I'll talk with, you know, we talk to kind of line and everything, and we'll put out advertisement to make sure we blast it all. We can know exactly how the elections are going to be working. I think I saw last week we had, what, 3,100 absentee ballots go out? Something like that.
Try like close to 34 now.
Oh, it's gone up, good, that's good.
Yeah.
How many total people voted last time? 5?
5,000. Yeah.
That's good though, I mean, we're getting people to vote that way and they can come drop the ballot off and then we can, less people through the building on election day and less contacts and we can too, as long as we can just make sure everybody has that opportunity.
We've probably gotten like 200 plus back already.
Okay, further questions or discussion? Okay, if not, I guess I would entertain a motion to do as such. So, okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Further discussion on the motion to move county facilities back to by appointment only and having the responsible to these contracts. Effective tomorrow, right, probably, is that okay? Or do you want to do immediately?
I don't know that would be.
Better get some buildings out.
We could even Thursday, just to give us time to get signs hung up on the doors and.
I mean, whatever works, I mean, effective as quickly as we can get stuff put together.
We're gonna restrict any, building access for meetings or things like that, or meetings as scheduled kind of thing?
I think at this point, I mean, meetings as scheduled will go on, it's just a matter of you'll have to have somebody that'll let people in, but we'll, again, still trying to, you know, we'll still do commission meetings the same way we've been doing them. We don't have a whole lot of outside meetings going on right now, I think, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll deal with it as it comes here.
Thursdays.
Okay, effective Thursday morning, that gives us tomorrow to get the word out there. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, further questions or discussion on the motion? Okay. Hearing none. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Okay, nuisance property issue. Carrie didn't make any mention of it to me yesterday when I visited with her. I think she's still working with the city attorney on it, so we'll just, when we need a table, we'll just roll by it until next meeting. Okay, from there, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else COVID related, but I don't think there is. Pretty much handled there. Okay, we'll go down to the additions to the agenda then under new business, the NDCCA resolutions.
Had these out, we had our caucus meeting last week. There was no changes to the proposed 2020 resolutions that were proposed. You know, they had a transportation funding, legacy fund proposal, prison population management, jail standards, water management and transportation infrastructure was one. And federal permitting of road projects, wetland mitigation, county road levies. So there was no action taken on any of those, no changes through our Region 3 caucus anyway. Not sure about any of the other caucuses, but that will be decided at the annual meeting on the 12th, I believe, is when that's done. And then the other thing that I added to the agenda was the Water Stewardship Award nomination that the joint board does. Send these out to all our county commissions within the basin, as well as soil conservation districts, water resource boards, economic development. Susie will get one of these and Paula. Susie, a group that she's involved with, won last year. The Devils Lake Access Committee won the award last year, was nominated and was selected as a winner. And you can see on that letter that many well-worthy representation of individuals and projects over the years since 2002 that award has been given out. will be a little different. Our annual conference is going to be virtual this year, and I think the awards will be handed out Thursday. I think it's the 10th of December at 3:30 is when they're going to do their awards virtually. So it'll be a little different, but we're still seeking nominations nonetheless. It could be a person, a group, or a project that has done a project or has contributed to the basin in any way. Nominations are due the 1st of November or 2nd of November, I think it is. The 2nd is the first Monday in November, so.
Yeah. Well, we got some time to think about it for our next week.
Right. Yep, come up with a name or a group or a project, that'd be great. Always tough to come up with something, but there's several worthwhile individuals or projects out there that would certainly qualify.
Okay, very good. Okay, visitors and delegation. Nothing. Crickets?
Paula, did you want to talk about your annual meeting coming up?
Yes, I do. Is this, are we under your portfolio, that's it?
Sure.
Okay.
We can do that again, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Under portfolios?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, you're
Gabby was
fine.
showing me
Yeah,
something that she
I was-
needs to update us on too,
Yeah.
but we'll go to you first. Paula.
Okay, so just wanting to let you all know, inviting all of you as well to our annual meeting. October 21st, doing it a little differently this year, obviously due to COVID as well. We usually hold it at the college at noon, but they will not allow anybody in there, and they're not serving lunches or anything. So we're doing it October 21st at 3:30 at the Elks. We're just going to be doing appetizers and beverages if you want. Our speakers are going to be Bryce Crosby. Did I say that right? Blake Crosby, excuse me, from the League of Cities, the mayor, and Kim and Brian Engstrom from Kojak Agency from Douglas Lake here. So, yeah, and we'll go over the things that we've done throughout the year, and do the Chamber Member of the Year, and then the changeover of our officers and our new board members and so forth. So come on out and join us on October 21st. Some of the other things going on that I just wanted to bring up as well. The holiday showcase, I know we did call, I think we talked to Nathan in your office, and I know we still have it scheduled. It is November 16th, and I believe he stated that was still fine to go ahead if we were doing some checking with the businesses throughout Devil's Lake to see if it was something that they were interested in, and we did a survey. And at this point, it looked as though we were going to move ahead with it, but we just heard you say, Adam, then that you said that would stay open, but are we limited with numbers?
Well, we're following the Smart Restart guidelines from the governor, under what level we're at. So we're at 75% capacity currently, and if we go from green to yellow, then it would drop down to 50%. So we are following those guidelines. That's what our plan states, yes.
Okay. What is it what's your?
What is the capacity? That's a good question. The fire department had given us a capacity number. We have to go look.
Okay. Yeah, I can
say it was like 325.
I was gonna say 300, but yeah. Okay, well, I don't anticipate that, we've had 300 to 400 people come through it before, but I don't think this year we would get to that level, but yeah.
But that's full capacity.
Yes, and so you're looking, now you're at 75.
I think we've been telling like wedding parties, it was like 200, between 200 and 225.
Okay. All right, and should it go, should that level change, you said?
Yeah, that all depends on where the governor puts that, because they're doing county by county levels now. So right now, we're still currently staying at, I think it's green, I don't remember.
Yeah, we're green right now.
But if we move us to yellow, then I believe the Smart Restart that states that we got a 50% capacity on large gatherings.
Right. Okay, we'll keep an eye on it.
We check it every week.
Okay,
And he hasn't made a change yet, so we'll see what happens.
all right, yeah.
When people pass through there, they're not all there at the same time.
Right, yes, they're going to.
Yeah, you just have to have somebody watch the door and keep a hand on it.
Yep, we will be doing that, and we haven't made the definite decision yet at this point, but we'll be doing it very soon. Okay, thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, I guess we that's kind of what we're going into portfolios. Do you have anything else, Jeff, since we kind of started over here?
Well, certainly the airport continues to move through our COVID phases, and airport numbers or boarding numbers are down, obviously. I think we're at 40% of what we were a year ago in October or September, I guess the numbers were most recently. The good news is the airport's going to start to get some of that COVID relief money, and we'll make really good use of that. KLJ is the engineers on that, working through some of the projects that we have coming up for that. And over the next 3-4 years, we'll get some nice enhancements to our runway without a lot of local costs incorporated. So hopefully that all works out and comes to fruition. But yeah.
Okay.
LEC, unfortunately, that's one of the businesses that is booming right now. We're full. We're right at capacity. Everything else seems to be running fairly smooth out there. They've had a few cases of COVID in and out, but they're managing it very well. Sheriff's Department, everything's pretty good there too. They're just influx of out-of-state hunters are, on their radar now, so some traffic issues out in the country. Park on roads and block farmers fields, and et cetera, et cetera. Other than that, it's pretty quiet.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we had our annual inspection out of the jail, went very well. We went through the 108 jail standards. That process, I thought, going well. Everything seemed to be coming. Werleiner and Anderson, I think, had the same guys.
Yeah, I guess I can speak social services, pretty much same old. Got an update on operations. We're kind of short-staffed right now. Turnover as always, plus, quarantining issues, things like that. There's been some issues with, still same problems with indirect costs, things like that. Still trying to keep the other counties, just telling people, we're gonna get this figured out.
Gonna go on the rest of this year.
Yeah, we're gonna get this figured out, we'll find a way to help out if we have to. But overall, everything's running fairly well. The one thing that they did have, foster care number increase, things like that, but otherwise, things are running smoothly, other than they just need to get some people hired, just because it's, it's like the normal in and out, when you've got, I can't remember how many people were up to staff wise now. It's gotta be close to probably 75 plus, I would guess. So when you have 75 employees, you're always gonna have one leaving and coming in the back, or something like that, so I think it's something like that. It's a lot. I have a county housing authority meeting on Thursday, so I don't have anything to add to that. Our Fort Devils Lake meeting was canceled due to Brad had 2 travels in place, so we'll have our first meeting of the month, second meeting of the month in October, that will be our next meeting. Portfolio wise, nothing too crazy going on. Normal operations, I guess, good stuff. Candy, anything you might be adding to?
I got an email from Rob at the jail about CARES Act reimbursement from the DOCR. We will be getting a credit on our bill for roughly 711 days of housing which equals out to be, about $56,000.
Pay us for housing
Yeah.
prisoners that shouldn't be in a pen, state pen,
Yeah.
they're still in.
And they-
So this is state prisoners that we're housing that they wouldn't take. Yeah.
They didn't have room, wouldn't take it.
Well, I think
So I was
that's,
like, okay.
that's the precedent going forward, that they should do that regardless. Maybe we
Yeah,
should put that in the budget.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
So maybe we should talk to our legislators about that, because that's one thing we should, obviously should be working with. But that's, so we can turn around and we can pay for the siren program then. What do you know? Money for rolling in and
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, I just looked at my emails.
Good deal. Okay, very good. I guess other than that, I don't think I have anything else. That's what I can think of at this point. There's an announcement on the bottom. Aquatic nuisance species wash stations. They're gonna have a meeting on the 14th at 10 to 12 here in the basement meeting room.
That's that joint.
The Sport Fishing Congress. So it's a joint meeting between, who is this now?
Would it be Benson and Nelson and us?
Oh, so this is what we need to come to. This isn't just an announcement. This is, we're supposed to be here to. So, is,
It was, did he say something about 2 representatives from each county?
So, something like that, so we should probably either
We should
appoint
listen to
somebody to
them.
that task force or,
okay.
um,
So is Game and Fish coming to this meeting as well, or?
I was just gonna ask that question.
I don't know if they are or not.
Till they start leading this project, I think we just gotta stand on the sidelines.
Is that right?
They were up, what, a week ago, Mark?
Yeah, they didn't have any answers.
That's what kind of the inkling of,
Yeah.
And I know, Sports Fishing Congress at Rich is the president of, meets, I think, in Bismarck Saturday. And I know Game and Fish is supposed to, is scheduled to give an update at their conference this weekend. But I don't know if Game and Fish is coming back up on the 14th, or Susie, you haven't heard? Susie had them, invited them up to Lake Access Committee, and both Mark and I were there, as well as Susie, and I don't know, they have a high pressure, high temperature decontamination unit that's designed for if aquatic nuisance is discovered on a watercraft, that to use that unit, but nobody at the Devils Lake office is trained to use it. It has to be somebody that's certified to use that unit because of the high temperature and the high pressure that it uses, that reliability issues involved with that, and so somebody would have to come from Jamestown to use it. So what their also proposal was, those temporary or those mobile wash stations, and whether they be out at the rest area or somewhere, they're still looking for partnership and cooperation with some local entities, and I'm not sure exactly where that's going to come. I think there's a philosophical differences between where they should be and where Game and Fish thinks they should be, kind of thing. But
Well, it's that, I think the thought process is, I don't think any of us are opposed to that. It's in the concept of this. They should have came to us with a definitive plan of, this is what we want to do, this is where we want to put them, how do we get it done?
And they had no idea.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that we can't help them out, but it would be better if they had some definitive, this is what we want to do, and this is how we want to do it, and this is, and then that's kind of the
financial responsibility here.
yeah, and who's gonna pay for what and that kind of thing too, because I don't think any of us are opposed to maybe helping out, but but we're not gonna take on the total cost of running something, we just can't. It's gotta be a partnership, so, I'm not opposed to continuing to listen, but we've gotta get some definitive answers if it's something we're gonna commit to.
Well, like Ed said, if the Game and Fish is in here, there's really nothing to listen to.
You're right.
To sit through another 2-hour meeting like that, that's just pointless. I hate to say that, but And
Seems to
then
me
you
that-
have the anglers on one side, and you have the sport fishing on the other, and there's no gelling at all between any of them. So,
Well, I just haven't heard a lot of financial obligation coming from the state yet.
nothing, just,
And until I hear that, I'm not very interested. I mean, we're limited on where we can get financial help.
That
We have to go back to the property owners in our county.
That
We're
was
not
one
picking up
of
no sales tax.
That was one of the reasons why that last legislative session, you know, they passed some of that, that ANS sticker deal on watercraft coming in, was supposed to fund that. And that's kind of where this wash station concept came from, but there's not enough funding put forward from
They
the
didn't.
state.
Tie no funding to it.
No.
The legislators did.
The
Well, they better go back
legislators-
this winter and get the funding tied to it.
Yeah, the legislators did increase or agree to that ANS sticker for boat licensing every 3 years for North Dakota boats, every year for out-of-state boats coming in.
$3, is that what you said?
No, it's, what is it, $15, Susie?
$15
Yeah.
on your boat, and then it's $3, I think, for fishing.
Yeah.
How
So it,
many registrations do they have? Like
Had it
1,000,
at one time,
10,000? They're not getting that many boats registered.
yeah, well, and out of state resident, they have to register every year, and then in state, it's every 3 years.
We gotta tie some funding to some of this stuff. I mean, counties got something, can't. You know, where a road help can go if we don't have state help yet. You know, that for years. I just can't believe they come out here and try to get us to do this. I mean, it's just ludicrous. Just like Mark said, it's a waste of time to listen to their presentation because, yeah, it's a great idea, but bring us some money. You know, you want this reality, you want it done. I'm not interested in putting property taxes on it.
Well, if I could just say something, paying the bills through Lake Access for all of our fish cleaning stations, the $5,000 they want to allocate for operating and maintenance and staffing, is $5,000, and I don't even think that'll cover the water bill, depending on the amount of usage that they're going to use. So it's a concern.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of our water donated, I believe, through Ramsey Water right now.
If we could get, you know, this wash station, they use that as much as they're using the fish cleaning stations. That would be all right. And get some money behind it. The legislators gotta put some money behind this like that. I don't care who I tell that to. Counties can't afford this. Nelson can't, Benson can't, I know they can't. Ramsey can't. We're gonna hell of a job keeping all the things we got trying to go now. You know, that we're mandated to take care of, law enforcement. Like we talked about social service funding, we got the state to take that over. You know, get it in front of us.
Well, and my other issue with it is if they're going to put it in, they're not going to require people to use it.
Right.
So then if we're not requiring the use,
Makes sense to put them close to the fish cleaning stations, that would make sense to me. Hopefully they would use it then if they're not required to use it. I don't know. You need water, so. You're gonna have a man, start hiring labor.
Well, that's the thing, who's, you know, we haven't really fleshed out, who's in charge of hiring labor, who's getting these people certified? I mean, there's just so many questions that, I mean, and like I said, I'm not opposed to continuing to try to figure it out, but until we have some definitive answers,
Right.
we can sit and talk about it all day long. I mean, we have to have somebody with some definitive answers. So, I'm not opposed to, I mean, I can go to this meeting if I have time, I'll try my best, just to go listen. But, I mean, until we get somebody that can state this is what's gonna happen, you know? I mean, I don't know what else we're gonna do. So do we wanna appoint people, or do we just wanna
go if we can go.
I think go if you can go. I have a joint board meeting scheduled that morning. I'm not sure if it'll be done by 10, but it'll be close. We're just coming across the hall.
Okay. I'll try to make it. I'll try to.
I know that's an important topic for the joint board as well.
If I see that somebody from the Game and Fish or something's there maybe, but the Game and Fish didn't answer any of the questions when they were here, so, I mean, Susie's water bill, I asked them how many, you know, they have a truck with 2 tanks on it, I said, well, how many boats will that wash? They didn't know. So, I guess, you know, if the Game and Fish or somebody's gonna be there, yes. If they're just gonna talk about the wash station again, I've heard it 3 times. You know, Susie's heard it 3 times. And they have no financial to it. Like Susie said, you can't pay the water bill with that.
What do you think, Susie? You tell us.
Regarding which aspect?
Are you gonna go to the meeting?
Oh, well, yeah, that's why I came today, to see
Well, you
what
tell us what you think
I would,
about
yes,
the
I would
project.
like to be at the meeting on the 14th. I think ANS wash stations are a great thing, but
Oh, I agree with you.
I agree with Mark, there needs to be more questions answered before anybody can get into anything financially regarding those. I'm also a little bit worried that they aren't looking to entertain private partnership. It seems to be all public partnerships. So we get to be a little limited there too. So there needs to be a lot of answers to a lot of our questions.
I wasn't at the meeting, I had another conference I had to be at. It was my understanding that there was a private partner at the meeting that stood up to say that he would be, he would partner, and he has a car wash in town that he was willing to, so he would be the perfect partner to have in this instance. Is that correct? Was this? Yeah. So, but they apparently, I don't know if it's a law, but it was shot down in that regard. So to me, that seemed like a perfect
Yes.
opportunity to partner with somebody that drive your boat in, you've got the car wash, there's your water, but apparently that isn't.
Well, it seemed to me in that discussion, they don't want to be in the boat washing business for people just to clean their boats coming off the water, which, you know, they don't think that that's a proper way to spend taxpayer money. And I'm like,
But it's not the boats coming off the water, it's the boats
It's
coming
the
into the
boat,
water.
yeah.
well,
You know, the boats coming off the water, it's irrelevant at that point.
well, at that point it is, but you don't know where that boat's been or where it's coming from is when they pull in and wash their boat or whatever. But to me, I think either way, it goes a long ways to preventing aquatic nuisance from being spread. You know, whether it's coming off our lake or coming into our lake, it's you know, a clean boat is, you know, a good thing. You know, if people are taking that initiative to do it, yeah, I just.
Well, this week you got 10,000 duck boats floating around. you
Well,
know.
right, yeah.
Nobody's looking at those,
And,
you know.
and nobody, you don't want to clean that, because that dirt kind of adds to the camouflage. But, you know, what that dirt contains or what that weed contains from another state or another part of our state is.
Well, that leads to one other set of questions too, then, I mean, so.
And they couldn't answer them.
So we're talking, it's October right now, the weather's not the best, people are still dropping boats in the lake.
Oh, yeah.
So are we talking an indoor facility, are we talking an outdoor facility, what are we talking here? I mean, because we could be talking some real money, and if there's no money behind it, you know. I mean, people drop their boats in Devil's Lake, all the way up until there's ice forming on the pit.
Yeah.
So, and then they start dropping their boats in the minute ice starts coming off the lake. So we're talking March, we're talking April, we're talking October. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think you're gonna find too many people who work for you when you sit outside when it's 37 degrees out cleaning boats for you. So I mean, just a lot of questions to be asked. I'm still willing to listen, but somebody's got to come to the table with some answers at some point. Otherwise, like you said, you're just having the same meeting over and over and over again, just talking about, well, this will be great, but nobody really has any answers. So I'll try to make the meeting on 14th, and I'll report back if anything interesting.
Thank you.
Okay.
You probably don't want me there anyways.
One thing that Bill forgot to mention, and whether or not but tomorrow morning at the tiling test project east of Edmore, they're going to be applying gypsum. And Nakeen Calmore, soil specialist from NDSU Research in Langdon, will be up there discussing what gypsum will do for that soil profile or what they're hoping to do. So I think at 9:30 tomorrow morning, if anybody's interested to hear what Nadine has to say about putting gypsum on a tile project and trying to get that acidic soils back to a growing, producing a crop. And that was the whole reason behind that tiling project up there, and initially was to improve that drainage off that one little 5-acre piece of property and try to start growing some crops again, and because it was an awful lot of alkali within that, so. But tomorrow morning, 9:30, east of Edmore at the Bridging Farm, right along Highway 17. If anybody's interested, hear what Nadine has to say.
West. East.
Yeah, west of it.
Yeah,
I'm
west.
sorry, west. East of 20, west of Edmore.
Yeah, it's outside the road.
South side of the road. Yeah.
Okay, any further announcements?